If you're an owner operator chasing the highest paying load on the load board every day, there's a very high probability that strategy is the exact reason your trucking business feels unstable. Because the loads that look the most profitable today are often the loads that destroy consistency tomorrow. And the trucking industry has quietly trained drivers to believe a dangerous myth. That myth is the belief that the loads that pay the highest rate per mile equal the most profit. But the truth is much different. In fact, many of the most profitable small fleets in America intentionally avoid chasing the highest paying loads. Not because they don't want the money, but because they understand something most drivers don't. Profits in trucking does not come from chasing opportunity. Profits come from building systems. Today, I'm going to break down why chasing high paying loads actually creates instability. Why disciplined fleets prioritize structure over spikes, and how the most profitable operations build predictable weekly profits instead of gambling on daily spot market freights. By the end of this video, you'll see trucking completely different. You'll understand why the highest paying load mindset is often the fastest path to financial frustration. And more importantly, you'll understand the strategy that replaces it. Let's start with this illusion. Truck drivers are trained to evaluate loads using one simple metric: rate per mile, $2.50 a mile, $3 a mile, $4 a mile. The higher the number, the better the load, right? No, not necessarily, because rates per mile is only one variable inside a much larger system. And focusing on one simple variable while ignoring the system is often one of the fastest ways business become unstable. There's a universal principle called reducism. And reducism happens when complex systems are simplified down to a single measurement. Trucking profitability is not a single measurement. It's a network of different variables. You have fuel efficiency, deadhead miles, lane familiarity, maintenance predictability, driver stress, broker relationships, and market volatility. When drivers chase the highest rate per mile, they often ignore the stability of the entire system. And when that system becomes unstable, well, profits, they just disappear. There's another universal law in physics that I like to reference a lot. It's called entropy. Entropy states that without structures, systems naturally move towards disorder. Your body without discipline declines. Your finances without management deteriorate. Your credit without attention decays. And a trucking business, most importantly, without operational structure, moves towards chaos. Chasing high-paying loads is often why trucks always don't work out, why truckers get stuck. Because every high-paying load eventually comes with unpredictability. Different pickup cities, different delivery markets, different brokers, different freight types, different appointment times. Every new variable introduces friction, and friction destroys efficiency. Efficiency is where your profits live. Efficiency is how you become consistent. When drivers chase high-paying loads, they unknowingly enter what I call the chaos loop. The chaos loop looks like this: find high-paying load, drive somewhere unfamiliar, deliver into an unpredictable market, search for the next paying load, and repeat. Every step introduces new uncertainty. Where will the next load be? What will the rate be? How far will I have to deadhead? Will I find something quickly? Uncertainty creates stress. It creates poor decisions. Poor decisions create financial instability. Every time a truck runs random freight across the country, hidden costs begin to stack up. Deadhead miles, they increase. Fuel efficiency increases. Maintenance unpredictability increases. Time spent searching for freight increases. The biggest hidden cost is operational friction. When trucks constantly move through unfamiliar lanes, drivers lose the advantage that experienced fleets depend on. They depend on this consistency. And when you move around, you lose the ability to have predictability. They don't know which brokers move consistent freight. They don't know which facilities load quickly. They don't know which lanes balance well with another lane. Everything becomes reactive. Reactive systems rarely produce stable outcomes. The most profitable small fleets in trucking often operate completely different. Instead of chasing the highest paying load, they focus on lane discipline. Lane discipline means operating within a predictable freight ecosystem, often inside a 150 to 200 mile radius of a major metro or major city. Why? Why do they want to do this? Because repeat lanes create powerful advantage. Drivers learn facilities. Drivers build broker relationships. Drivers reduce deadhead. Drivers reduce stress. Predictability compounds. And when predictability compounds, efficiency multiplies. There's another universal principle called momentum. Momentum happens when systems move efficiently in one direction with minimum resistance. Momentum in trucking looks like this: repeat customers, repeat lanes, repeat brokers, repeat schedules. When these elements repeat, efficiency improves automatically. And efficiency is the foundation of profitability. When trucks consistently change direction, momentum, it disappears. Chasing high-paying loads often destroys momentum. A disciplined truck operating values or consistent miles that don't spike. A single $4 a mile load may look exciting, but if that load sends the truck into a weak market where the next load pays $1.30 a mile, that system becomes unstable. Consistent freight creates predictable outcomes. Predictable outcomes create financial clarity. Financial clarity allows operators to make better decisions. Professional fleets are asked different questions than struggling owner operators. Instead of asking, what is the highest paying load today? They sit back and say, what freight system or what freight fits in our system? The mindset shifts everything because now freight is evaluated based on alignment, not just price. Does this load keep the truck inside our lanes? Does this load position us for tomorrow? Does this load strengthen our network? If the answer is no, the load is rejected, right? They move on to the next. Freight networks are invisible advantages. The more consistently trucks operate inside a region, the more relationships are developed. Brokers begin calling you first. Facilities recognize the drivers. Opportunities appear before they hit the board. This is how you get off the load board, guys. Networks create leverage. Leverage creates profit. Random freights and random loads, it destroys your network. It destroys your week. Many drivers operate within short-term mindset. What's the rate today? Today's load board, today's decision. But profitable fleets operate within a longer horizon. They're looking at weekly stability, monthly predictability, annual profitability. Short-term thinking produces volatility. Long-term thinking produces structure. Discipline, y'all, is the difference between activity and progress. Activity looks like something crazy and chaotic. Structure looks controlled and repeatable. And progress, it compounds. When operational discipline meets financial discipline, it's a powerful stack. Stable lanes reduce fuel waste. Predictable schedules reduce stress. Repeat brokers increase opportunities. Each layer strengthens the business. This is the profit stack. It only works when chaos disappears. Most drivers struggle financially not because they lack work ethic. They struggle because they operate inside chaotic systems. They chase miles instead of margins. They chase instead of building relationships. They chase opportunities instead of structure. But trucking rewards structure. When the driver shifts from chasing loads to building systems, everything will change. Fuel planning improves. Maintenance planning improves. Schedule improve. Your life will improve. because stability replaces chaos. The highest paying loads on the load board is rarely the most profitable.